Hi everyone. In this video, I want to talk to you about your term paper, and I want actually to show you where you can find a folder for a term paper and where you can submit your paper as well as the topics for the paper. So this is our D12. This is our class. So if you just go to course activities and then click on assignments, you should be able to find um, 3 folders. This one is for the term paper topic, and the other one is for the term paper itself. So our deadline for the topics, which needs my approval, is on October 3rd, which is a Monday at 11:30 p.m. And of course, you still have time for the term paper because it's kind of towards the end of our class after Thanksgiving. So let me just explain a little bit more about your topics. Of course, in the meanwhile, you can always reach out to me if you have any question about how to pick your topic, how to write your paper. Definitely, as I said, you need my approval before you start writing your paper. That's why I need your topics by October 3rd. And just keep in mind, there's no right or wrong here when you submit your topics. I really want you guys to have something in mind on October 3rd. And then, of course, you will get my feedback. So do not worry if your topic is not correct, if it is not 100% microeconomics. You will definitely hear from me. So just try to have something by October 3rd. And this is our syllabus. So I'm going over the syllabus to explain more about the paper. So this is the part that we basically need. So when you think about your topics, since this is a micro class and you're supposed to write a microeconomic paper, so you should look into a business economy. You should be focused on firms. You can be focused on economy of a city or an industry when you pick your topic. So the best way that you can actually come up with a good topic is to look into our textbooks, listen to news, watch news, and you will get some ideas. Okay, I'm just throwing some examples to you in terms of the topic, but my students always surprise me with the pretty good topic that they actually come up with every single semester. So inflation rate is pretty hot these days, right? But remember that if you want to write about the inflation rate of the United States, that would make your topic macroeconomics, because macro is anything that is related to a country's economy. But if you're still interested in writing about inflation rate, we can write about inflation rate in the city of Houston, how the inflation rate, how the prices changed over time in the city of Houston. Or you can have a comparison of inflation rate and the prices in 2022 with 2021, with 2020, that basically COVID happened. So you can look into some data, you can explain what's happening in city of Houston in terms of prices and so forth. Okay. So this is as far as it goes for your topic. So again, you can come up with any microeconomic topic. I just gave you an example. You do not have to write about inflation rate. You can write about, and remember, for your topic or for your paper, you can pick a microeconomic problem and come up with a solution, like inflation rate is happening. What is the solution for the city of Houston? Or you can just discuss a microeconomic topic that you like. Let's say you are really interested in learning more about monopolistic competition or monopoly market that we also going to discuss in chapter 12 and 13. You can write about that. You can look into different aspects of these markets. So it should not be necessarily a microeconomic problem. It can be a microeconomic topic, and then you are going to elaborate on that topic. Remember, this is a microeconomic paper. This is a college level paper, and just make sure that you are not adding too much of your opinion whenever you talk about your topic. If you are coming up with solution, try to use educational reasonable scientific solution. You can definitely add your own solution if you are discussing a microeconomic problem, but it should not be just focused on your opinion, if that makes sense. So after you pick your paper, after you pick your topic for your paper on October 3rd, this is how you are going to submit your topics to me. On a Word file, you are going to write your name, your section number, your course number and your section number. And this is micro 5005. And then you're going to write your name. And then for your topic, you are going to write basically the research question that you are going to answer in your paper. So if you're, I'm going to go back to the example that I gave you. So if you're going to write about inflation in the city of Houston, just tell me how you are going to tackle that problem. What is that you are going to discuss in your paper? So it can be just one sentence, it can be few sentences or a paragraph or two. Not really much for the topic. Okay, I do not want you to send me the entire paper on October 3rd. I just need few lines or just one sentence explaining what you are going to discuss in your paper, what you are going to achieve in your paper, what is the research question that you are trying to answer. Okay. When you get my approval on October 3rd, of course, it will take me a while to read all the topics, but when you have my approval, you can start working on your paper. And this is how you are going to write your paper and how basically I'm going to grade. I'm just going to show you. The deadline for the paper, as stated here, is on Friday, December 2nd. This is the only assignment. So all of our assignments, discussions, D12, Connect assignment, they are all on Mondays. This is the only assignment that is due on Friday, December 3rd. And I try to also emphasize on this deadline on my very first announcement on D12. So nothing that is Monday. It is not. The deadline for the paper is on a Friday. Of course, I will again remind you. When you are writing your paper should be an MLA format. If you are not familiar with MLA, and I will definitely suggest that you go back to the content tab, and one of the folders that I put here for you in the content tab is about the term paper, and I put an example and a sample of MLA format. Our college offers multiple writing workshops that I definitely, and I'm pretty sure that you guys also get emails from the from our writing center. But if you want to learn more about MLA format papers, how to write a paper, how you should do your citation at the end of the paper, I highly recommend you guys to go to these workshops. Even in the spring, they had both online and face-to-face workshops. So just reach out to them. And I try, actually, I'm still waiting for them to share their schedule for this fall, but I will definitely share their schedule with you with the workshops that they're offering. So if you have time, definitely attend these workshops. They're amazing. So the paper should be MLA. So you should start basically with writing your name, my name, again, course and section number on your paper. Then you need to find a title for your paper, okay? And then after that, you should explain what you are going to achieve, pretty much what you are giving me for your paper, but in more detail. That will be your introduction for the paper. Then you are going to have basically the major part of your paper, which is your discussion and how you are explaining your microeconomic topic, how you are explaining that microeconomic problem that you chose. So that will be a huge part of your discussion and your paper. So when you are discussing your problem or your topic, try to use economic language throughout your paper. Remember, this is December 2nd that you are submitting your paper. So by that time, you should have a good vocabulary in economics, okay? When you are done with that major part, and remember, you can always use data, graphs. We use graphs a lot in our class. You can use data if you can. For instance, for that inflation rate in the city of Houston, you can definitely find some historic data on inflation rate in our city. So feel free to add data, graphs, charts. Again, if it's related to your topic, okay? Your paper should not be less than 100 words without your resources, without your citation. I know that I put 1,200 words for the maximum number of words, but if you're writing and if it goes beyond that, that's absolutely okay. Just make sure that it is not less than 800 words. Also, keep your you should, I think I forgot to mention that you are going to write your paper again in a Word file, and please do not convert your Word file to PDF when you are done. You will lose 10 points for just converting your paper to PDF. You're going to lose points. You just definitely do not want to do that. Also, I put like some information that how you should write your paper. So it should be double space. It should be Time News Roman font. So please just pay attention to all these details. I am not going to accept any late submission for the paper. So just please be on time. I will send multiple reminders for you for that. But just please make sure that you have everything. So your paper has 90 points out of 100. And then when you submit your topics on October 3rd, you will get automatically 10 points. Even if your topic is completely wrong, even if your topic is completely macroeconomics, just for submitting your paper, your topic, you will get 10 points. So 10 point is coming from your topic and 90 for the paper that you're going to submit. There are some topics that I do not want you to work on. Of course, majority of them that I put here are somehow macro. It should not be macro. It should not be about minimum wage. Everything that I put basically here, okay? When you are done with that major part of your paper, which is all about basically discussing your topic and providing, let's say, information, explaining the problem, the macroeconomic problem in case that you pick one, you will need to have a conclusion at the end of your paper, wrapping up your paper, having basically if you were discussing macroeconomic problem, have your solutions again there in your conclusion. And then when you are done with your conclusion, you should add your resources, your citations, and you need to put at least 5. Let me find it. I put it somewhere here. You need at least 5 scientific sources. What do I mean by scientific sources? YouTube, Investopedia, they are not scientific sources. You can definitely use textbook, you can use economic journals, and by the way, our library is amazing. We have multiple online economic resources for you, journals, news, everything there. So just reach out to them, use the resources that we have. As I said, you can use the textbook, you can use news as your resources, but remember for the news, just make sure that you are not using random news, or just make sure that your news is reliable, because when you search something on the internet nowadays, there's so many wrong information that pops up. So just make sure that they are reliable, okay? And this is how I am going to grade your paper, okay? So I put all the information here. I definitely, as I said, need to see some charts, some numbers, some graphs. I need to see, I apologize. I need to see some economic analysis and economic language throughout your paper. Your paper should be organized. Your research questions should be clear. Your thesis is basically what you're going to argue. And don't forget about your references at the end. You are going to lose up to 20 points for not having 5 scientific resources for me, okay? And when you are done with your paper, you should submit your paper on D12. Please, please, please do not send me anything by email. I teach 6 different classes, and you cannot imagine the number of emails that I get at the end of each semester. No matter how I emphasize that you should not email me anything. You have to submit your paper and through D12, okay? So let's just go back to let me just go back to course activities, assignments, to our Dropbox basically location. There you go. So this is our term paper. So this is the place that you are going to submit your papers. And let me also, I forgot actually to activate something that I'm going to explain to you. So when you are done with your paper, and your paper, remember, has 90 points, right? Let me just activate that. It's good. I was talking to you and I'm double checking everything here. So when you are done, you should, let me just, okay. I activated that. Okay. We should be fine now. Let me close it. I'm going to show you something. So when you are done with your paper, and you just want to make sure that you did not copy much from your resources, this icon here is something that will tell you how many percentage of your paper is copied from your resources. Remember, it is okay to use resources. It is okay to copy quotations and graphs, let's say, from our papers, because you are not going to come up with your data. You are not going to come up with your own graphs. You are going to use your resources for those. But you just should make sure that you are not copying too much. Otherwise, you are going to get 0 for your paper. So this is a place that you can double check and make sure that your paper is acceptable. This is called Turnitin similarity. Let me go back to our syllabus that I was showing you. If your paper has more than, this little icon will show you how much is your Turnitin. So your Turnitin percentage shows how much you copied. I put it right here. If it's more than 25%, you are going to get 0 automatically. It tells me if you got more than 25% that you'd copied the majority of your paper and it is not acceptable. Your Turnitin grade should be less than 25%. So you can definitely run your Turnitin before you submit your paper just to make sure that everything is legit. Again, if it's more than 25%, unfortunately, you're going to get 0, all right? Do not also turn in your Word file for the paper to PDF, as I said. Again, you are going to lose 10 points for that. So when you are done and you'll submit your paper, make sure again when you are done submitting your paper that your paper is working. Click on your Word file. Make sure it's opening. Make sure it's not the wrong paper. I had students in the past who send me a wrong paper. Of course, I work with them. They send me the correct one. But sometimes you guys don't respond to my emails. When I send you an email, hey, you send me a wrong file. When you do not get my email, when you do not respond to me, you will get 0, and then you'll be surprised at the end. So make sure you are sending the correct file, and make sure that your file is not nothing wrong with your paper, with your file, because it happened in the past. The file is completely cropped and I cannot get anything. So make sure that these are your responsibilities, not mine. And remember that your paper has 20% of your total grade. So it's not really that difficult to get that 20%. Just don't miss the deadlines. Follow what I just explained to you, and follow the instruction on how you should write the paper. And I promise you that your grade will be fine. Okay. Please let me know if you have any question. I'll be happy to help you. Of course, I'm looking forward to read your topics, and you will get feedbacks from me for your topics. And as soon as you have that approval, please start working on your paper, because honestly, at this point, after reading and teaching for so many years, I can definitely tell if you spend just one night writing your paper, or you did an great amount of time. You spend great amount of time researching your topic, and you spend couple weeks writing it. Okay, you will definitely